Sadly, my wife Ada, she passed in 1934. Myself, I was not feeling too good. My health was not good. So, I sold my business in 1939 to Orion Ruhr, another German. And he bought the business and the name. And then I made a good deal for him. I said, I give you a good price for this place, but you have one condition. And that is to take care of me for the rest of my life. And he agreed. It wasn't too long though. A few years later, in 1941, April, I passed away. And I understand that Mr. Ruhr had sold the business some years later, and that person had sold the business to somebody else, etc., etc. So, what that means is that Heidi's Florist was the longest continuous business in Plymouth history for over 100 years. That's a lot of flowers. I thank you for your attention. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce you to a few of the things that we offered in our little pharmacy. Perfumes, of course. Stationery, newspapers, cigars. We had veterinary supplies. And we even offered a selection of glass-top caskets. We had some models there that people could choose one. They want to be buried in one. And then have it shipped here. And the young people said we had the best soda fountain in town. So you can imagine, you know, if you're sitting there having a soda and looking at the caskets and stuff here. A little bit of everything for everybody, I think.
You know, there's nothing quite like a good cigar. And this is nothing like a good cigar. Look at that. The wrapper should not fall off. The wrapper should be the best part. The presentation is actually a wrapper that says, I'm good, smoke me. You know why this is not a good cigar? It's not a George Springer cigar. I'm George Springer. And I would make cigars right around there behind my house here. And I love making cigars. And I love selling cigars. My cigars were much loved, much bought, much smoked, even over up in North America. I was born in 1869 here in Plymouth. And these cigars have great names. Plymouth Bell, or Chief Hunter, or my favorite, Springer's Best. This is not.
My name is Rosa Sambroni, and I'm going to tell you about the Hotel Victor that used to stand right on that corner there. So I'll tell you about myself a little bit. I was born in 1912. I was born in a little small town in Italy, right at the toe of the boot. And I came to the United States when I was about 15 years old. I came on the SS Roma, who at that time it was a passenger ship. In 1939, the Italian Navy took it over and turned into an aircraft carrier for the war. So when I came over, it took me about 16 days to come from Naples to New York, and my ticket was about $22. My husband Frank was born in Sicily, Italy. He came over when he was 31 years old. We were married in Lucas County, Ohio, shortly after I came to America. He was 38 and I was 16, even though my marriage license said I was 22. We had two children, Vito and Anna Catherine. A lot of the Italians came to America starting in 1890 to the 1900s. Basically, they came for a better life. There's a lot of poverty in Italy, and they just heard there was a better life. So a lot of them came in between 1890 and 1900, and then the next group of Italians came over right after World War I, and then again right after World War II.
Good afternoon. My name is Teresa Whaley Joliffe, and I was born in 1860 in Avon, Ontario. My friends call me Tessie, so you can call me Tessie too. Well, as I said, I was born in Ontario, and at the age of 23, I married Harry Joliffe. And after a few years of marriage, we emigrated to the United States. Now, Harry had been born in England, but came over with his family as a young boy, and he learned the art of cheese making. And he was so successful, he was asked to come and join Fred Warner of Farmington in his business here. Now, that name may be familiar to you because Fred Warner later became Governor Warner. So they had a business here in Farmington, and after a while, Daniel was living in Plymouth right here at the time with his family, and so Harry and I decided we'd move to Plymouth so we could be with his brother here. And this was the house that we lived in. Isn't it lovely? So we lived here, and the two brothers opened a partnership together, and they had the Jolie Brothers Cheese Factory. And they were quite successful. They had developed close relationship with the local farmers, so that helped them to have a prosperous business. In fact, they shipped cheese all over the Midwest, 100 tons of cheese a year. That's a lot of cheese.
Oh, well, welcome. I'd love to welcome all of you to the village of Plymouth. You see, the village of Plymouth holds a very dear and special place to my heart. I am Lydia Amelia Hayward Davis Starkweather. What a name that is. Well, let me tell you about myself. I was born in Wayne County in 1844, and I was called Lydia Hayward. My parents died when I was 4, and by the age of 7, I was adopted and raised by Mr. and Mrs. Jehiel and Mary Davis. I grew up here in Plymouth my entire life, and I decided to devote myself to the wonderful village here. I was raised, you see, to be a good, noble Christian woman, and the Davises started calling me Amelia, so Amelia stuck. So for the rest of my life, I was known as Amelia. Well, I did what I could for the village because I loved all the changes that were happening at the railroad, the expansion of the village, everything. But sometimes I even donated some of my family land so that Plymouth could be developed. I enjoyed entertaining, and I would also lend a helping hand whenever anybody needed it.
How you doing today?
Fine, thank you.
My name is Henry Fisher. I was born in Lenawee County in 1871. As a young man, I married my sweetheart, Augusta. We had 2 kids. Around the turn of the century, we moved to Plymouth, and I joined the Phoenix Hose Company, which today you guys would probably call a fire department. I'm a blacksmith by trade, and I opened my own shop and here in North Village. And now there's some interesting things you might not know about blacksmiths. Okay, one is that we've created a lot of things that you use in the English language, such as put the hammer down, or strike while the iron's hot. Okay, and watch your temper.
What does that mean?
Okay, because you temper steel, and when you temper steel, it becomes brittle. So nails are usually tempered so they don't bend. Because when they bend, they don't work straight. So there's a lot of things that you temper to make them positively hard. Okay?
Hello. Welcome. It is so nice to see everyone. I think. It's a little hard for me to see these days. Many years have I been dearly departed and dead and missed. But When I was alive, I had perfect sight, with the help of spectacles, of course. Now, not so much, so please just bear with me. My name is Minnie Gotti. Let me spell that for you. It's Gayde, pronounced Gotti. I come from Germany, but moved here, obviously, yeah. My husband, Albert, that is his meat market over there. He was of German descent as well, but he was born here. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself in the few minutes that we have. I had a pretty interesting life. I'm going to tell you about participating in changing women's roles in America's workforce. I was born near the turn of the 20th century. It was a time when women were not encouraged to work. Women were expected to become mothers, to entertain friends and husbands' business associates, and to volunteer for social causes, but not to work for a paycheck outside of their home. But the 1900s started to see small but significant changes for women, thank goodness. And women of today can be very thankful to women of my time and generation. Thank you. Really, no applause. Suffragists is what we were. A suffragist was a woman advocating for the right to vote and to run for office.